This is the Kindy Rockstars Podcast, Season 4. Bringing you incredibly talented singers, artists, creators, and producers in the genre of children's music. I'm your host, Patrick Adams. Each episode will feature songs, albums, videos, or live performances, along with great stories from the artists themselves. Kindy Rockstars Season 4 is proud to be supported and sponsored by Waltmania Public Relations, serving the family entertainment community for more than 20 years. And now, on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. I'm really excited to have with me today from New Zealand, Levity Beet. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Patrick. Great to be here.
Great to have you on. I'm excited to have you on. I've worked with you on a song that was on one of my albums, Kindy's Do the 80s Volume 2, with Kath B. And you know, I'm really glad to have you on as a guest because I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got into making music for kids and all the great stuff that you do and the artists that you work with down there.
Sure. Well, shall I let you know how it all started?
Absolutely. Origin stories.
Great. I'm thinking it's probably when I was a kid, from as early as I can remember until probably I was 10 or 11. I had an uncle, Uncle David Hollis, and he'd visit us for a couple of weeks each year and stay with our family. And he was kind of a bohemian, hitchhiking around New Zealand musician, and he lived quite a rugged life, and he in lots of ways didn't take that great care of himself, but he took really great care of making really beautiful art and beautiful music and media for kids. And he'd come over to our place, and all the neighborhood kids would hear he was there, and they'd all come around and hang out at our place. He'd make up songs about whoever showed up and draw cartoons, kind of like caricature of the kids. And I'd say he was an early inspiration for both music for me and creative arts in general. He did sculpture and painting, and there's cartoons and music and dance. And he was probably really the only adult in my early life that did all those sort of things. Most my parents and their friends were caring people, but not doing wild stuff. So he was very interesting, and all the kids were really curious about David.
That's interesting. I have this creative part of me now that I didn't have when I was younger. I think I look at it as left brain versus right brain. He sounds like he is all right brain. Yeah,
he was definitely able to take whatever was around him and kind of turn it into art. And he did get quite well known in various sort of artistic circles and even in TV for a while in New Zealand. But he was not a person who liked to be in any kind of a relationship where he was employed. Basically, he didn't like to have a boss, and he didn't want to have to do the same thing the next day that he did the day before. So he didn't last long, but he made an impact pretty much wherever he went because he was pretty clever. And so, he ended up quite an outsider, and in his later years, he's passed away now. In his later years, was quite reclusive, not shut off from the world. I could visit him, and we'd have a laugh, and we'd play some music, and he'd find out from me what was kind of going on. But he was just in his own world, and to the point where he'd actually created his own language that he wrote books in. So we've actually got the stack of books that nobody can read in a language that he made up, and also boxes of cassette tapes where he recorded songs in this language. And he never really entered the digital world. He just held it at bay, and he kept all his old tech and instead of like digital multi-tracking, he'd just record something onto a cassette, and then he'd play that while he recorded the next thing on another player onto another cassette, and kind of do his own very lo-fi multi-tracking like that, as he poked pencils into the gears of the cassette player to get different effects and things happening. So yeah, yeah, that's one of my inspirations.
Very cool. So when did that all translate for you, and you start creating music, or how did you get into it?
So I was always into music, and I played as a kid, not taking lessons or studying music, but just playing with musical instruments that were around the house. Because although my parents didn't play, they had a guitar and a ukulele, and my mum had a violin rocking around, and there was a xylophone, and my sister actually did do lessons. So there's a clarinet and a piano accordion and electric keyboard, and there was stuff there. And I just played with it, and I never did lessons, but I enjoyed making sound and just experimenting by myself. So that was going on. And then as a teenager, me and my friends decided it was probably about time to be highly successful heavy metal artists. And so I started doing guitar lessons and learning how to rock out a bit. And then only really I could only cope with that for a few years. And my ears, I think, they're kind of sensitive, and I realized I just liked acoustic sound, and I liked the sound of nature. And I took off, and I left all my band friends, and I just spent a lot of time traveling around New Zealand doing seasonal work. So pruning trees, picking fruit, all those jobs where you move around a lot. And I'd always have an instrument with me, and just taught myself how to play the guitar and how to play the mandolin. And went on like that for a while, until eventually I met an awesome person who's Gabby, who's my wife now, and we decided after a few years to have kids. And pretty much when we were pregnant with our first child, I just thought, it just came to me that I wanted to make a sequel to my uncle David's album that he made in 1980. He made a vinyl album called NZ Musical Animals and Things. And it was, I think, about 8 or 9 tracks, kids' music, but very, very unique. Not, I've already told you a bit about him. He didn't pander to any sort of norms or ideas about how a thing should be. And so this album is just very, I don't know what to say about it apart from that I love it. And maybe I could send you a link. It's actually on YouTube. It's not streaming anywhere, but somebody, I don't know who, uploaded track by track. So anyways,
I think that would be great, considering how much of an impact he had on you. Let's get people to know him and check out his work.
Yeah, that'd be great. As we were pregnant with our first child, who is 17 now, I thought, I'd like to make a sequel to that album that David made. So I picked, I think, 10 native animals from New Zealand, and wrote songs about those. And the first one I wrote, after I wrote and recorded it, so that was also when I first started producing audio, because I decided I wanted to record it and put it out into the world. And the first song was called Little Blue. And just after I'd finished producing it, I found out there was a thing called the APRA New Zealand Children's Song of the Year. And so I entered that because I was already an APRA member. It's like the performing artists, musicians. You've got them in the States. What is it called in the States? You've got a couple of options that they represent you legally.
Oh,
they make sure
we have a ASCAP. ASCAP,
yeah. So it's like that, and they put on different events and different competitions and different things that promote and support musicians in New Zealand. So I entered that competition with this first song that I'd written and the first production I'd made, and I ended up winning it. So I was feeling pretty happy about that and pretty encouraged. And I think that situation set my trajectory for the next 17 years, and here I am.
Very cool. And how did you come up with the name Levity Beet?
So I was working with two other musicians, and we were doing what we called interactive musical storytelling, and traveling around New Zealand schools, primary schools. I think you call them elementary schools,
Hmm.
and also early childhood, kindergarten centers. And we were doing a show which was probably half improvised and half structured, and it changed depending on who the audience was and what they came up with. And we had music going on, and movement and storytelling. And so I first chose it as kind of a performance name because before that, well, I've got a couple of names that very few people call me Nick or Nicholas Hollis, like my uncle David Hollis. But most people call me Levity Beet, which I chose because levity is uplifting or fun or humorous, or some dictionaries actually say frivolous, but I'm not thinking of it in those terms. And beet is spelt Beet, like the vegetables. So the idea there was to balance it out. I didn't just want to be a kind of a floating off the planet funny guy. I wanted to be grounded in something really earthy. So yeah, I'm Levity Beet. And I think I was actually reading Jitterbug Perfume at the time too. I don't know if you've read that, but there's a whole lot of magical stuff happening with beet pollen in there, and yeah, that's another story.
All right. Well, it's fascinating origin story. And I look forward to sharing your inspirations work. And let, today we have a song feature. So we're going to be
Yeah,
talking about the song "The Shivers." So tell us a
right.
little bit about this song.
So the idea from this came. I was talking to a friend of mine, Milo, and she's a videographer, and we wanted to do a project together where I do the music and she does the video. And we were talking about the idea that when we were kids, and still today, I know my kids and yeah, probably kids all over. We played this game called Spotlight. Maybe you call it something different, or maybe you call it Spotlight. But it's basically when it gets dark, you get torches, and you go outside and you creep up on each other, and you just stalk each other and give each other frights, and it's very exciting. And maybe there's like a base that you've got to try and get back to without somebody spotlighting you. So sometimes you've got a torch, sometimes you've got no torch, and it's kind of a little bit spooky, and you get kind of scared, but you have a lot of fun and laugh, and it's one of the most just popular things for kids, I think, because it means staying up past your usual bedtime. So there's a kind of an element of it being kind of special in some way. Yeah, and we were talking about how that feeling of sort of a curious fear, and an excitement and a surprise and all that kind of feeling that kids actually really like, um, would be a good thing to kind of focus a song on. So also, I suppose the Shivers, that the way I wrote it, it could be conceived as a Halloween song because it's about a bunch of kids that are getting together and gathering all these props and costumes and things and going out to play the Shivers or to get the Shivers. So it could be like getting ready for trick or treat, but I think it's a bit less specific than that, but works really well as a Halloween song. Yeah, and I chose a kind of a it's got a sort of a Balkan dance pop um, instrumental chorus, and it's actually got all my neighborhood kids. There's about half a dozen of them. I got them in the studio and I got them to do the vocals for me. It's sort of whispered and spoken, mostly, and then the chorus part and the bridge part is sung mostly by one kid, Maggie Quinn. She's a music student of mine who I've known since she was about 5, and I think she's 12 or 13 now, and she's developing as a quite incredible vocalist. So I'm very lucky to have Maggie feature on the Shivers and also a lot of my other recent productions.
Yeah, this song is I really quite liked it. It was different, but it was super catchy, and yeah, the vocals were great. The production was great, and you definitely,
Thanks.
even if it wasn't meant to be a Halloween song, I think you can
Yeah,
crank this one out every Halloween, and it'll fit
yeah, I'd
right
say
in.
so. Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna play that song for everyone right now. Here it is, "The Shivers" by Levity Beet.
I got the snake. I got the spider. I got the web. A boomer rider. I got the bats. I got the teeth. I got the mask. I got the beast. We've got the cackle. We've got the night. We've got the guts. We give a fright. You get the shivers. 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 I got the laugh. I got the howl. I got the creak. I got the yowl. I got the mess. I got the eyes. I got the flicker. I got surprise. We've got the rags. We've got the bite. We've got the guts. We give a fright. You get the shivers. 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 Exhilarating, don't avoid. Alive and feeling, not just paranoid. Intensify to like the shivers. You get 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 the shivers.
And that was the Shivers. All right. So Levity Beet, I know you also do some other work musically, production work, things like that. So before we tell everybody where they can find, stream, and download that song, tell us a little bit about that other work.
Yeah, so I've been doing production work for a lot of different artists, mostly kids music artists that are producing for kids, but also a few more kind of adult audience oriented projects. And also in the last couple of years, I've been working on a 14-track album, and each track is a collaboration with a different New Zealand kids music writer. So I've been launching that since for the last couple of months, and there's every 2 weeks pretty much there's a track being released right up until February next year. So I've got a lot of material coming out, and I'm pretty proud of it because each one's quite different and has a really strong flavor of its own because of there being a completely different musician in there with me on each track. Yeah, so that's been quite an exciting project for me.
Very nice. And those are going to be going out on Spotify and things
Yeah,
like that.
they're on all your favorite platforms: Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and iTunes, and all over.
Excellent. All right, everyone, get out there and subscribe or follow Levity Beet for new music for the next several months, it sounds like.
Yeah, right through till I'd say February or March next year, because I've got a few more just sort of last minute collaborations that have popped up. So yeah, actually the other thing you might be interested in is that I've been making a lot of musical instruments, kind of inventing things or remaking things that you might be familiar with, but using strange, often recycled or rubbish stuff that's thrown away to create new instruments. And on my YouTube channel, there's a little bit of video showing that. And over the next 6 months, I'll be posting quite a lot more on there, showing the process of making a song. So I'll be showing what I do in a digital audio workstation, but also in my workshop where I'm making instruments that'll be in the song. And that's starting off at the moment. Just before I was talking to you today, I was trying to make the world's most annoying and largest kazoo, because the song that I'll be using as the production for this series that I was just talking about has a very annoying character. So this character needs a very annoying voice. And I don't know if I'm doing a good job of selling this one. It's also going to sound pretty funky, dancey, and fun and annoying.
There you go. You've got the right combination now, I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very good. So the Shivers, I'm sure, is available out there on all of the regular streaming platforms.
Yes, it is. And actually it'll have a music video later or early next year that'll be put out for the Shivers. My friend Milo's making that. And yeah, that'll be really exciting. She's a great videographer. So look out for that too. That'll be on my YouTube.
Awesome. All right. Well, let everybody know where can they find you on YouTube, and how can they find and connect with you otherwise?
So Levity Beet is my name on YouTube, and it's so at Levity Beet, no gap between the two words. And other than that, you can find me on Instagram, Levity Beet, on Facebook, Levity Beet Music, Spotify, or Apple Music. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Levity Beet, thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
I wish you best of luck with this project, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Patrick. Great to talk.
Thanks.